Hey guys, this is episode 8 of our chat app using Ionic 3 and Firebase series. Before jumping into the content, let me just thank our patrons for supporting this entire series. And I received a new patron this week. His name is Ep.8, and I personally thank you, Eric, for deciding to support me. And obviously, thanks to the other patrons as well. Now, let's just jump right into the content. You might have already read the title of this video. This video is going to be about one-to-one chatting. So far we have seen how to add friends, right? Now we will see how to chat with that added friend. So before starting with the code, let me just explain the process in a simple way so that everyone can understand. So chatting is not that much complicated, guys. It's pretty much simple. It's just like taking the real world thing and then applying it to your app. That's all. Real world, how you chat with a normal person, you just say something to him and then he replies something back to you. Whatever you said, it will be stored in your head as well as his head, and then whatever reply he says, it will be stored in his head as well as your head. So suppose you both go off to your homes and then you meet the next day, and then you say, hey, do you recall what I said yesterday? And then immediately he'll recall all the conversation stored in his head, and then he'll start speaking about it, right? That's how usual chat happens. Now take that exact thing and apply it inside your application. That's one-to-one chatting. Let's see how to do that. It's pretty much simple. Let's see how to do that. So this is where we left off, right? Chats.html. When we click the item, when we click the friend name, then a buddy chat function will be called. Okay, now get into chats.ts, and oh, my mouse is broken, and then we'll add a function for that buddy chat, buddy. Okay, for this purpose, for chatting purpose, we'll create a separate provider. Okay, so I'll go ahead and Ionic G provider chat, and then Ionic we'll have a separate chats page as well, so that upon clicking that particular user, he will be taken to a new page where you can chat. So Ionic G page buddy chat. Okay, let this get generated. Yeah, it's generated. Now first we should initialize means you'll see that. I'll import the chat service. Import from chat, not chat. I'll copy this. Chat. Okay, and inside this I'll give chat provider. Okay. Now what you will do is create a local instance for that public chat service. Chat. Okay. And then inside this dot chat service dot initialize buddy. Then simply navigate this dot nav control dot push buddy chat page. Okay. So initialize buddy method doesn't exist, right? We need to go ahead and create that. Let's just get into chat service chat.ts, this provider, right? First we don't need this one, and then we don't need these two as well. We'll however need Firebase, so import Firebase from. So we'll have first fire buddy chats. Okay, and Firebase, we have a separate collection for one-to-one chats. Firebase.database.ref buddy chats. Okay, and we'll have buddy, and inside initialize buddy. buddy, this dot buddy equals buddy. Okay, very simple piece of code. We are just initializing a person's details, that's all. And let's go back to our where we came from, this one, right? Okay, this is done. We'll go to this buddy chat page and start our real work. So where is it? Oh, that is not the end, right? We'll close this. My mouse. We'll close the other stuff as well. Okay, so buddy chat. Now the thing is, the chat page would look like it will have a header on top, and then it will have these chat bubbles, and then at the bottom, at the footer, you will have a thin text area where you can type something and then click on send, and then the message will be added as a bubble into the viewer area, right? That's how the chat page will be. Now if I sit here and do the CSS and that HTML thing, it will obviously take a lot of time, guys. I'll just teach the logic of how this thing is coded. HTML, I'll just simply time lapse the thing in a fast way, and CSS also. CSS, I have the CSS code here. I'll just copy and paste it. Okay, but you can take it from a repo. Okay, you can take it from a repo. You need not sit and type this. You can take it from a repo, or just give chat bubbles in Google, and then you will get a lot of CSS code. You can just use any of it. Now we have a footer and header. Header is our color, and then the buddy does display name corresponds to the person whom you are trying to chat with. And in the footer, if you notice, you have an input field where you will type your message, and then a simple button. The button will trigger a add message function. So this add message function is the one that takes our message and saves it in. You'll understand, guys, rather than me talking about it. If I show it, you'll understand it in a better way. So I'll get into buddychat.ts and then remove this as well. The first thing we need to do is we need to get the buddy, right? We initialize the buddy. We need to get it. So we'll do that here. This dot buddy. Oh, buddy, we need buddy. This dot buddy equals this dot chat. Chat service we haven't initialized. Okay, we have initialized. The next thing we need to do is add message function. That's what this whole thing is about, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Add message function. Here this is ng model is new message, right? So I'll add another new message. Okay. Now inside the add message function, we'll simply call this dot chat service dot add new message, and we'll pass the new message, not new message, this dot new message. Okay, okay, this is done. Not here. Chat.ts and then write the add new message. This dot fire buddy chat. First we'll if this dot buddy where promise equals new promise is all reject. This dot fire buddy chats dot child Firebase dot auth dot current user dot uid dot child this dot buddy dot uid. Okay, dot push. Inside this I'll give three fields. One is the message field, another one is we'll have a sent by field, and another one will be a timestamp. Sent by Firebase dot auth dot current user dot uid message timestamp Firebase dot database dot server value dot timestamp. Okay. Now once this is done, we need to I told you, remember, if you're talking to a person, you say something to him, it stores in his memory and it also gets registered in your memory, right? So the next time he replies, whatever he replies, the conversation, the message gets stored in his memory as well as your memory. So both of our brains have a copy of that message which we spoke. That's exactly what we are trying to do here. So we'll store another thing, but this time wait, you'll see, guys. Then this dot fire buddy chats dot child, this dot buddy dot uid dot child firebase dot auth dot current user dot uid dot push. Once again push all these three stuffs. This sent by won't change because the sender is the same person. You get my point, right? Dot then resolve true dot catch error reject error. We'll simply okay, we have added a message. You might understand this when I run the code. Okay, even if you haven't understand now, most of you would have understood it by now. What I'm doing is I'm simply creating a child with the user ID of that logged in person and the person he is sending the message to. Okay, and then I'm storing the message and a timestamp under that particular node. And again I am creating the person who receives the message ID, node under the person who receives the message, under the UID of the person who receives the message, and storing the same message in that node as well. You'll better understand this when you'll understand this better when this code runs. So let me just move on. Add new message is done. We'll get back to buddychat.ts and okay, I'm just clearing out the message field so that he can type the next message. This is done. Now this doesn't end here, right? This doesn't end, I mean, just sending a message alone is not enough. We should also be able to see all the sent and received messages. Let's write code for that as well. So I'll simply add another function, get all messages. Okay, get all messages. Now this get all messages I need not write here, right? I can write in the provider itself and just need to make a call from here, that's all. So I'll go back to chat.ts and here I'll write it, get buddy messages, and I should get all the messages of the person who has logged in pertaining to the how do I say this, I have to get all the messages of the person who has logged in at that time on that device, and I also need to get only the specific messages pertaining to the conversation that the person had with the clicked friend. He might have clicked the friend on his list, right? And I need to get the messages corresponding to that the conversation between the logged in user and that friend, right? So I'll do that. First we'll have another array here, buddy messages. Okay, buddy messages. This get buddy messages dot buddy messages equals blank. We are just clearing it so that even if there are multiple calls, we always get a fresh list. And this dot what was that, fire buddy dot child firebase dot auth dot current user dot uid dot child this dot buddy dot uid dot on value snapshot. Okay, where temp let temp temp equals snapshot dot var for where temp key in temp this dot buddy messages dot push temp of temp key. You get what I'm doing here, right? It will be now this dot buddy messages will have all the messages that are under this particular user's UID, and this particular user might be chatting with a lot of people, right? So we need a conversation pertaining to the person whom the user wants to view. So that person's ID will be here, because when he clicks, wait, I'll show you, because here he clicks that my mouse, here he taps on a specific person, right? And what we are doing, we are initializing that person here. So this what this will do is, it will go here and then initialize this dot buddy with that particular person whom he has tabbed. So this dot buddy dot uid will correspond to that particular person's uid, which means that we'll get a list of we'll get an array of messages corresponding to the conversation between this logged in user and that particular person whom he has tapped on. Okay, not whom he has tapped on, yeah, that's right. Okay, now we need to okay, we'll publish an event. Where's the constructor? New message. Okay, now so far so good, right? You understand what's happening here. We have simply written code for adding a message, and then once the person gets to the chat window, all his previous message will get displayed. That's all we are doing here. Yeah, now let's see. Let's write code to handle this event in the buddy chat page. Where is it? Buddy chat.sh. Is it? Oh, it's already 26 minutes. Where is it? Yeah, this is right. We need to make a call, right? So ion view did enter this dot chat service dot get buddy messages. You get my point, right? Now this will trigger a event. So this dot events, not events, here it is one. Events. We'll write an event handler. So then what we need to do is this dot, we'll have a separate thing for all messages, and this array will be emptied every time. This dot zone, zone is not there. I think you don't even need a zone. We'll try without a zone. If it doesn't work, we'll include a zone. This dot all messages equals this dot chat service dot buddy messages. You get what I'm doing here, right? Once that event is triggered, it means that this dot chat service dot buddy messages will have all the messages, right, in the conversation. So I can simply assign it to this dot all messages. This dot all messages should be iterated in the HTML. So now I think you will get the overall flow, right? Let me finish the HTML as well, and so that we'll run this code so that you can understand what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say. Okay guys, HTML code is done as well. Let's run this and see if what happens. Okay, everything so far so good, right? Let's run this. We'll open another browser as well to probably not hear this. Okay, let's just tester. And I have opened another browser to simulate a different user. Okay, these two people are friends. Tester 4 and tester 3 are friends. Let's try chatting between them. Okay, I'll minimize this as well so that resize this as well so that both of them. Yeah, I'll click on this invalid link buddy chat page. Oh, that I didn't actually. Buddy chat is small letters, right? Sorry. I make silly mistakes, guys. Okay, once again we have both these users. Let's just tap on one and see what happens now. Hopefully it should work fine. Okay, we get the name of that buddy, right? And we'll tap on this as well and tester 3. Let's see if the code we have written works. So let me type hello and then send it. Okay, you get it twice here and then you get it once here, so it obviously works. And you get the avatar as well, so that works. So Let's see if that error occurs here as well. Yeah, every message is getting displayed twice, right? So it literally means that somewhere in the middle, the array initialization, we haven't just cleaned up the array before doing it every time, before pushing new elements every time. So we'll go here. We have done this outside of the listener. We'll try to do this inside, and apart from that, here we haven't done anything with arrays, right? Let's get back to buddychat.ts. Here we have all messages, and we have done that inside the events only, so nothing here. So let's see what happens now. In the DB, we'll simply remove that collection. Okay, once again, let's try it. Hopefully this time it should work. I'm tapping on tester 4 and I'm tapping on tester 3 here. Yep, works fine, right? And you can see that the appearance looks cool, right? Okay, now if you notice, there is a error here. What that error is, I mean, what my English is going, I mean, let's figure out that error. The error is that the avatar image appears the same for both the sender and the receiver, right? So let's figure out where we went wrong. Let's get back to buddychat.html. Okay, we have given both. This is not 40, this is buddy.40 URL, right? Then only it will be wait, you will see what I'm trying to see. So many mistakes, guys, right? And no issues, you can do this without mistakes now, since I'm fixing all the mistakes in the screen itself, in this video itself. Tester 2. Now you get what I'm trying to say, right? The image URL appears beautiful. I mean different for the image URL of that particular user gets displayed, right? My English is going down and down. Anyway, let's move on with the video. Now if you notice, how are you doing? Now we have typed a lot of messages, right? But if you notice, this hasn't scrolled down automatically. You would want to see the latest images first, latest messages first, right? If I go back and then I'm coming here, then automatically I should be scrolled down to the bottom so that I am able to see the recent messages, right? But if that's not the case, and if I have to manually scroll every time to the bottom, then that's not ideal, right? So to do that, what we need to do is we need to have, we'll name this, okay, content, and then access this, whatever we need to scroll, we'll access that in buddychat.ts through view child. So we can simply access that now with the view child, right? View child, and here we need to just add a decorator at view content content. Okay, we'll also need to obviously import content. Each and every time a new message gets displayed, we'll first when the user enters the screen itself, we'll scroll to the bottom first. Okay, so scroll to set timeout. This dot content dot scroll to bottom, and I'll give this 1000 milliseconds, sorry, and inside the constructor I'll simply do a dot scroll, and I'll scroll to the bottom here as well. Okay, that's cool, right? Let's see if this creates the effect that we decided for. Click on test 4. See, you get that effect, right? It's scrolling to the bottom automatically. Just watch this. See, you're able to notice the difference, right? Add your coffee. It hasn't scrolled down, right? It hasn't scrolled down. It should scroll down basically. See, wait. It's doing it here, but it's not doing it here, right? So let's fix that as well. Now both the sender screen and receiver screen are automatically scrolling. Watch this, guys. It's cool, right? Anyway, this is what I wanted to show you guys today. The one-to-one chatting. I hope you understood this, guys. It's pretty much a very simple concept if you know how to do it if you know how to implement it in SQL modeling. I mean, not SQL, no SQL modeling. Try it out. Try it out. If you have any doubts, post it in the comments. Even if I didn't reply, some other person who is trying the same might reply. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the support you have been showing to me throughout this series. If you aren't at my Patreon, and if you can support me, kindly do so, so that I can keep this series and the forthcoming series free of charge to all the users. That's it. That's about it, guys. Once again, a great thanks to all my patrons. And one more thing, a lot of people were asking me that I can't support you on a monthly basis, but I can make you a one-time donation or something. So I have created a link for that as well, and it's below in the description. So yeah, guys, thank you for all the support I have been receiving. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.